as you all know, my name is Anna and my partner's name is Ricardo. So here I have laid out all of our fixed expenses and then all of our check dates. We each get paid twice a month usually. So A is for me and then Ricardo is indicated by the R. So as you can see, in June we got paid 4 times. And in July, we got paid 5 times. And then in August, we returned to the usual 4 paychecks. So I wanted to talk a little more about me because I usually just dive right in. And some of this might not make sense if I don't talk about it. So we have 2 mortgages because we pay our own mortgage, which is $944. And then we contribute $500 to Ricardo's parents' mortgage. And again, this happens again later when I talk about AT&T because our AT&T bundle includes 5 cell phone lines, DirecTV, and internet for Ricardo's parents' home. This we are going to do away with. It should be by August because our 1-year contract ends at the end of the month. So, well, actually, we did a 2-year, but it increases after 1 year. So I decided to cancel it because it's too much. It's already averaging between $450 to $550. So for this category, I'm going to put $500 as well. And we will get some sort of termination fee at the beginning of July. So I expect that coming in the next week or 2. Electricity, we have been spending an average of $80 per month, but since it is June, I expect it to go a little higher this month. So I'm going to say $120. Pandora, we pay $14.06 every month. So I'm going to say $15. Our HOA is super high because it includes gas, water, trash. I feel like everything but electricity, so $480. Synchrony is a credit card that we got for our mattress, and we pay the minimum payment because it's 0% interest. So $66. Tacoma. This is Ricardo's truck, and we refinanced it, so it comes automatically out of my credit union account because we refinanced with the credit union. So this scenario is going to be a different case for this line because I set aside $300 every check of mine because it automatically gets taken into the credit union checking account. So this is $564. Motor insurance is motorcycle insurance. If you've watched my previous videos, you've noticed that my auto insurance is $1,000 every 6 months, but the motorcycle insurance we pay $23 a month. So the auto insurance is a sinking fund of ours, but the motorcycle insurance is a monthly expense of ours. Back to the bundle. AT&T internet, this is Ricardo's parents' house, this is our house. So this is $64. Netflix is a consistent $9.73, so that's $10. And then Verizon is another $180. Verizon is the cell phones at my parents. So again, Ricardo's parents, my parents, Ricardo's parents. I've never done a budget by paycheck ever, just because I always thought of these as monthly expenses. I should have all this money for the month. But I really like this concept that I saw on other channels, and I wanted to see where exactly does our money per check go. And it's a little complicated and I've done a lot of rough drafts, so I might not get this right, but that's the thing about it. Like, there's so many ways to go about this method, because you can take the 944 and take it solely for one check, or you can take the 944 and split it across 4 checks or 5 checks. So in this instance, I wanted to share how these 4 and sometimes 5 get paid for the month from the month prior. So in this example, since June 5th, the first Friday that we got paid, is after this due date, these were already paid from May. So I'm gonna write, just for clarity, that these were already paid from the prior month. And another way I'm going to signify that they were paid is by highlighting them. And then I'm going to make sure that you know that June is paid using the color orange. So now we have to figure out, when do we pay our HOA in the month of June? And since it's due on the 4th and we get paid on the 5th, it's coming from this check. I could also make the instance where this was paid from the prior month, but I'm going to show you how to do that in the latter months. So for now, we're going to pretend that this entire $480 is coming from this check. And to simplify this example, I'm making it to where we received an average of $1,800 per check. So from this $1,800, we are subtracting $480 to pay the HOA. And then I have to pay the synchrony bill also from this check, because the synchrony bill is due on the 10th and our next paycheck is on the 12th. So I have to deduct the $66 from here as well. Whereas the Tacoma, again, I want to go back to what I stated earlier. I automatically take $300 per one of my checks into my credit union account. So I'm going to put 300 here and 300 here as well. And Ricardo doesn't pay that bill because it's directly taken from my credit union checking, because I did my loan with my credit union. I do have some extra money here, so the $36, $37 technically, is put into just our checking savings in our credit union. So it just sits there, and then if ever it gets to a bigger number, then I can move it into an official savings. But this is how we do it for now. And then the motorcycle insurance is also due on the 20th, so I can do it where I take it out of this check, or this check. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it out of this one, the 23rd, because it's due on the 20th, so I'm able to take it out of this check from the 19th. And because it's such a small number, I'm not gonna split it up. The AT&T bundle is $500 and we need it by the 26th. So I can divide this by 4. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So 125 from each check. And then the internet, this, you can do it several ways. You can take all 64 from one paycheck, you can split it across 4, you can split it across 2. So for this instance, I'm gonna go ahead and split it across 2, because my check has already taken out a bigger lump. So 32 from Ricardo's and 32 from Ricardo's. And then the $10, again, it's such a small number and it's due on the 28th. So we will go ahead and take it from this check. And the 180, it's also another one that gets taken from my personal checking because it's my parents' phones. So we're gonna do 90 and 90 from my checks. Okay, so now we're gonna go back and highlight when the bill gets paid. So again, we have enough money, the 480, to accommodate this 480. We have the 66 to accommodate the 66. We have the 600, 300 plus 300 to accommodate the 564. We have the 23 for 23. We have the 500, the 64, 32 plus 32 is the 64 we need, the 10, and then the 180 that we need, 90 plus 90. So this is a scenario where all these orange ones are paying off the June bill. And this is just indicating that these were already paid prior. So technically, this was orange on the May budget by paycheck worksheet. So now we're gonna see where this money is coming from so that it could pay the July bill. So we need this $944 by this check. We cannot use this check because this is on the 3rd and this is from we need the money on the 1st. So what I went ahead and did was divided the $944 between these two checks. You can also do, divide by 3. But again, I've already taken a bigger chunk out of my check to pay off the car. So I'm going to divvy up the $944 divided by 2. So it's 472, 472. So these two 472s will cover the July 1st bill. And then the mortgage, I'm going to do the same where I split it, 250 and 250. Electricity, 60 and 60. Pandora is such a small amount. Since this check is already paying a couple of extra things, the $10 here, well, I thought it was a couple, but it's just because the 32 here and 32 is equal. So I'm going to put the Pandora bill coming from this check. Honestly, this money is going to be sitting on our checking account. So the reason why we want to divvy it up more balanced is because whatever leftover money we have, we're going to put towards actual spending, variable spending, our cash envelopes, our sinking funds, and we could even put in more savings. So 15 is covered there. And then our HOA, again, we've already paid for June, but we need to figure out what we want to do for July. And so it's 480. It's due on the 4th, so we can use this paycheck on the 3rd. So to evenly split that out, I'm going to take 480 divided by 4. This is 120. And then we will have that 480 ready for July 4th. And since July 4th is a holiday, it's actually going to get taken out on the 6th. So it's a good cushion. Like, we don't have to worry about it not going through on time. The $66, this is another one where it's your choice. You want to split it between 4, you want to split it between 2, or you want to just pay the entire 66 at once. I technically could keep it all the way until this date. Or I can split it between these two. Or whatever I want to do. So just for showing examples of how you can do this differently, I am going to do that. So I'm going to do 33 here and 33 here, just so you can see the difference between I paid this entire bill once with this check, and I allocated money from this check and this check to provide enough money to pay for it by the 10th. Okay, so for illustration purposes, I'm going to change my highlighting color to indicate that these bills are being paid for July. So July. And July is an interesting case because we get a 5th check, but that's not necessarily all extra money. And we'll see that when we get down to the Tacoma. So we have the 944 ready for July. This date, this date, this date. Early for Pandora, but it's such a small amount. And then right on time for HOA. And then right on time for Synchrony. And again, we have, you know, a big cushion in our banking account, our checking account, to accommodate for these bills, but this is just a way for us to look at each one of our checks and see where this money is getting spreaded to. So I'm going to continue with my Tacoma. Direct deposit, 300 per A check, per Anna check. So 300, 300, 300, 300, 300. Okay. So this is the case where we see that the 564 is taken out on this date. It's taken out in between these two checks, but I have the money ready for the 20th in between here, because here it'd be too late. Okay, and then now I need to figure out when I want to take $23 out for the motorcycle insurance, which I can take it up to this date. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Because by then, by this date, it's too late. It's the 24th and it's due on the 20th. But on the 17th, I can allocate that money for it. And then for the 500, since it's such a large number, I can divvy it up by 5. I can divvy it up by 4. And so since it's such a perfect round number, I'm going to go ahead and do the 100, just to show y'all again a different way of splitting up your checks. So here we split it 4 ways, and here we split it up 5 ways. Actually, that doesn't work because the 31st here, it would be too late. So that doesn't work. I have to split it 4 ways. I debated a lot about showing my mistakes, but I think showing them helps figure out your finances as well. So this is good. So because it's $500 due on the 26th, I cannot use this check. I have to have the money by the 24th. So in this instance, we're doing the same scenario where we split it 4 ways. And the July bill is getting, ooh, that's ugly. The money is in there by the 24th, so it can get pulled. And then we have $64. So just, again, just to show y'all a different scenario, I'm gonna split it 4 ways instead of 2. And then it will also be ready on the 24th to be paid on the 26th. Then Netflix is easy, it's just $10. So we can use it on any one of them really. Just for illustration purposes, I'm going to do $5 and $5. Even though $10 really, like, I know I have $10 in my account. And then for Verizon, again, it's coming from my checks, so it has to go from the A's. So let's do 90 here and 90 here. Okay, so let's see if all the greens are covered, all the orange are covered, all the greens are covered. Perfect. So now we're gonna work our August bill. So this scenario, I did do some practices. The August one I didn't. So let's see how we can do this. So August, I'm gonna do yellow. So again, we need this money by the end of the month. And we cannot use this August check to pay our August 1st bills. We can't even use our August 7th check to pay the HOA. So I need to cover all 5 of these within these 5 different paychecks. So because these are divisible by 2s and 4s, I'm gonna do just that. So the 500 can be divided by 100. So I'm gonna do that. That's easy. And it just so happens that it's the 31st, so we need it by this paycheck. The 944 though, I'm gonna divide it by, I can either do 4 or I can do 2. I'm gonna do 2 because I'm worried that this $300 takes away a lot from mine and I won't have enough. So again, from Ricardo, 472 and 472. And then just for illustration purposes, we are making the average the same, $1,800 per check. Okay, and then for electricity, we will keep it consistent. Let's do 60 and 60. And then Pandora's so in the air, it could go anywhere. Let's just take it from mine since I know I'm gonna have extra here. Okay, and then the HOA, I have 4 checks, so that's perfect. Let's just divide it the same. Okay, so the yellow is being taken care of for August. Here, here, here. So we have the 944 ready on this date, the 500 ready for this date, the 120 ready, 15 ready, and the 480 ready. And then we keep moving on. So I don't need the $66 until the 10th, so I can use this August 7th check to pay $66. And then we already took care of our Tacoma because it's already automatically put into my credit union checking. The $23 we don't need until the 20th, so we cannot pay it on the 21st. We have to pay it by the 14th. The AT&T bundle, $500, we need it by the 26th, so we need it before the 28th. So we can only spread it across 1, 2, 3, even 4 checks. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the $250 per check from Ricardo. Balance these out a little bit. And then we need 64 for the internet by the 26th. So we cannot use this check, we have to use these. So I'm gonna do an even split again. And then the 28th, we need $10. So I can take it from this actual check here. And then the 190 again is from my bank account. So it has to come from this one and this one, which is a little tight, but I could have taken it out from here as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and do this 90 and 90. Okay. Let's see, we got everything covered. So we got, again, mortgage, electricity, Pandora, HOA covered. And then we have our mattress bill covered by the 7th. So it could get taken out by the 10th. And then we have 300 here, 600 here, which is ready on the 14th to get withdrawn on the 20th. And then motorcycle insurance, the bundle, $500. We have it on the 21st, ready to get taken out by the 26th. $64 ready to get taken out on the 26th. $10 ready 28th, and then $90 ready for the 28th as well. So again, I will repeat this for bills due in September. And I accidentally highlighted this one. It should be a different color. Let's do pink. So if I were to continue this, my next colors would be pink. And an easy one that I know that's gonna happen is this car one. Because I know that I'm gonna get paid next, and it's gonna be on 11th. I wanted to pull up a calendar just to make sure. And I know that this $600 will definitely be enough for my $564 due. So that's what I eventually want to do with everything. Like, I just want to put enough money for all of our bills in one account. And we eventually will do it. Right now, we're still in the midst of getting our new construction completed. And once that happens, then we're going to open up a Capital One savings so that we can put all of our sinking funds in there, the higher amount ones. And then I want to make a checking account solely used to pay bills, so that this is perfect. Like, we don't have to worry about whether we have enough money for the bills. So I wanted to break down from this how much we have left over. There's a few things that we're not considering in here because we do have cash envelopes, we do have sinking funds, and we do have automated savings as well. So automatically from our accounts, we get $300 or $400 taken out to put towards our home savings, which is basically our savings for our down payment for the house that we are set to close mid-September. So a lot of these are going to cut it close to the $1,800, but whatever is left over is what we use to fill those three things. And my first time budgeting was in June. So from my experience, my goal is to have $1,000 for cash envelopes every month. And this is the breakdown that I created for cash envelopes. We went above for dining out, but we went below for groceries. So as long as we stay in the 600 range for food, I think we'll be okay. We did right on track for gas, and miscellaneous, I think I have like 40 bucks left. So we did good. I have extra money left from these envelopes. And then for our sinking funds, we have 3 different categories if you watch the previous video of mine. So I got overwhelmed. I overwhelmed myself with all the categories that I had. So I am guesstimating that I will spend $1,300 in sinking funds every month, or at least we will have that much left over every month. Sometimes we have more, sometimes we'll have less, but this is my guesstimate. And instead of trying to fill in all of my sinking funds at once, I divvy them up into 3 different categories, options, paychecks, because this $500 here, we take out cash to give to his parents. So that pretty much takes up 1 paycheck. If you know, it was a perfect world and our leftover per paycheck was $500. But average between $400-$500, right? So in the last May check, we took out this $500, to be real. We took out this $500, and so these checks would fill these funds. So I split them up into 3 different breakdowns, so that way if I get $500 out on the 5th, I can put it towards these. If I get $400 out on the 12th, I can put it towards these. And then if I get another $400 out on the 19th, I can put it towards these. And then again, on the 26th, or on the last check of the month, we would be pulling out the $500 so we can give it to Ricardo's parents. So these are just simple breakdowns. It's not going to be exact. I might, spend $100 in medical, like for my vitamins that were prescribed to me for my last midwife appointment. So then I would want to replenish that money, etc., etc. So here's the breakdown. I'm going to take a break and add up all of these expenses and see how much left over we have to put into our sinking funds, our cash envelopes, and our savings. So here I've already added up how much we spent per paycheck in June and July. I didn't complete the August one because I didn't split these up yet. So from here I'm going to see how much we have left over by deducting it from 1800. So these are what's remaining from our checks every paycheck, in theory. A lot of this isn't real because I know in May I had $1,000, which is why I started my sinking funds, and then I added more money on the 19th if you've watched my previous videos. But in theory, if you want to budget by paycheck, this is an example, and I wanted to go over 3 months worth because I felt like doing 1 month was confusing because of this overlay right here. And so I wanted to show y'all how it changes every month and how you can do different scenarios. So here, I can pay the bill off in 1 bill. Here I paid it in 2. I kept it consistent here, but really, you could do 45, 45, 45, 45 all across. And then here, I could have done 250, 250, just like here. Again, 66, 33, 33. I could have done 240 twice per month. It's how you want to do it and how your checks come up. I made it so that it's $1,800 per one of our checks, but that's not true. Like, somebody could be making $1,600 and the other person could be making $2,000, or whatever scenario you have, but you're gonna take your check and you're gonna see how much each bill is coming from that check. So with this remaining, I could break down and tell you what exactly I'm gonna do, but that would be purposeless because it's not in actuality. But I do know that for Paycheck, lately we've been saving $300 or $400. So I'm gonna go on the higher end since all of these are more than $400. So savings, just because September is so close and we want to get as big of a down payment as we possibly can. So then from there, I would deduct it again, and then from whatever's left over from that, I would put towards our envelopes and our actual spending for the month. June has already been completed, so I already know start of July we have over $1,000 in our checking account as a safe cushion, and that will continue as long as we don't spend more than what I budget, which is $1,000 for cash envelopes and $1,300 for sinking funds. We will consistently have that $1,000 as a cushion in our checking account, which a lot of people call emergency fund, and it could be sitting in a savings account. Eventually, these extra money, this $36, $37 extra that we have from me putting this $600 per month into our checking account, our credit union checking, will turn into savings as well. But for now, we're just going to keep it consistently like that, because you see, it looks like we have an extra check here because I got $300 3 times in July, but I needed it when it came to this payment because I wouldn't have had this $300 in time to pay off this bill. So I needed this $300 to add with this $300 to make sure I have enough to pay the bill on time. And then it'll continue that way. And maybe we'll have an extra $300 somewhere, but not in this scenario. Hope that was very thorough and understanding. If you have any questions, please comment below. If you have any suggestions on what I should do to change this up, because I've even thought about like changing the bills, because all of these are due towards the end and all of these are due in the beginning. But the way I took it was, for these higher leftovers, these would be the dates that I take out money to fill in our envelopes. Instead of, going every week, I could just go once a month or twice a month, which is more realistic.